I brought you here today because really I wanted to know what was the state of race relations in the UK today. I thought we'd have a good talk about that, considering that only last week there were elections going on. And what were your thoughts about the results, Steve?
Well, the results were pretty much what I thought it would be. When you're running on zero budget with without the, let's say, the culture of our people voting for us, and I'm not talking about voting for a Labour Party. Start from the beginning. You ask, where are we in terms of race relations? We're worse than when we came here because too many of us think we've made it. So the fact that we think we've made it, we become individuals, right?
Yes.
Because you have a yard and a car and a job and you got £20 in your bank account, you've made it. It's a wrap. And you don't have to associate because it's too black. You wouldn't even have to put a picture on your LinkedIn identity. So when we came here, we know we needed each other. And there's no way that Britain could have told us that Britain wasn't a racist country.
Absolutely.
Now, the reason they do that is because they know what they're bringing next. And because we've failed, by and large, to uphold, promote, and preserve our culture, they've put us in a position where they can do that. We allowed it. We created the whole environment. Every single ethnicity outside of us uphold, promote, and preserve their culture. And then as a byproduct of that, they get the cultural capital. So you can go to the mayor's office and you say, don't talk about Chinese New Year unless there's Chinese people in the room. Don't talk about Diwali unless there's Indians in the room. Don't talk about Eid unless there's Bangladeshis or Pakistanis in the room. Now, when it comes to our events, they can co-opt it. But look,
Carnival, isn't it?
We did it. We allowed everybody to take ownership. And it's on one thing. There's no such thing as black. Black is a political term.
Yeah.
And a homosexual white man can self-elect to be black like he can self-elect to be a woman. It's not a problem. And then usurp our money. Don't worry, I see you in the corner. Coach, and you look a little nervous on the language. This is political language. So I'm not going to mess up anybody's show. It's a fact. Anybody can self-elect to be black, apart from a heterosexual white man, and usurp our money. That's why I say African Caribbean, because we can't be scared to be who we are.
Yes.
We eat a particular food, we laugh a particular way, we drink a particular drink. My man wear a particular cologne, and we have to be ourselves and be unashamed to be ourselves. So if we have our own party, it's not for optics, it's to go to local authority. Forget about MPs, forget about the Prime Minister. It's about becoming a local councillor to get local resources and distribute them fairly to the community, especially if it's made up of a larger number of us. Because
isn't that basically what Claude Anderson was also relating to, where he talks about the
110%. I take my entire directive from the uncle, and ADPAC is the practical implementation, because I don't want to be Dr. Claude's age and talking about it.
Okay, now you just
and everybody else will be talking about that.
Okay, okay, one second. You've just mentioned ADPAC, which is an acronym. And I'd like you to break down what ADPAC really is, because there's a lot of there's people who's going to come and watch this who ain't going to have an idea of what ADPAC actually stands for. So let's go with that. ADPAC.
So ADPAC is the African Diaspora Public Affairs Committee, and is based on a very similar model to the US-Israeli lobby, AIPAC. So this is the board function and the operations of ADPAC. So you have the trustees, and then you have a layer of directors. If you think about directors as MPs, these are the guys who inform policy. So policy for our economics. So at the moment, we are creating a financial entity with guys who are veterans from the banking industry and also in the tech industry with an end-to-end wallet. Education, so we work with all of the rites of passage organizations, and we do have, through K. Johnston, a fully formed educational curriculum for our own children. Employment, which is to protect our public sector staff, such as police and nurses, and work with their associations, but make them more robust. The health department is really about wellness. So one of those buildings that we want in any borough, we say schools, chambers of commerce, community centers, but we want wellness centers. So when you think about people like Dr. Sally, who passed, who was doing what Dr. Sebi did 20 years ago, we want wellness centers so that we keep and maintain our wellness. So we don't need clinics and hospitals. Housing, we have a team who have a history of purchasing land, so acquisitions of land, buildings, the head of a housing association, and revenues and costings from a current local authority to inform our housing and property department. Justice, we're undertaking supporting cases like the Windrush so that we can bring a joint civil litigation, a class action against the government. They're not supposed to be dictating that you get 2.5 grand or 10 grand until you wait here and this is this. No, they destroyed papers illegally, kidnapped people, assets stripped them. Some people died. That is a mass civil litigation. And the previous Home Secretary said it might be worth 200 million to the government war chest. Now, we're hoping it's going to be more than that, but we have the barristers and we have all of the Windrush advocates in place to get behind that. Politics, we support our own political machine. So at the moment, that's the We Matter Party. Trade and industry is about creating ties between us here and on the continent. So supporting organizations like Black Pound Day. We do have now an organization that have created a kite mark for African Caribbean owned businesses so that Asians or anybody else.
That's BBS, Black Business Recommendations.
Yes, absolutely. So we work hand in hand with them. And what we do with all those mass businesses collectively is aggregate all of our businesses so that when we have our wallet is complete with our currency, we just offer it to those businesses for adoption. And then adoption by the public is exponential. And then the media. So at the moment, I'm working with my brother Robert in HMP TV, and we are creating shows that reflect our ethos so that in the same way that you would see Netflix can inculcate our minds, we want to feed our minds by upholding, promoting, and preserving our culture. So those are the council who create all the policy in those specific areas. And then how it looks practically, if you think about a CVS that work with the charitable sector, what they do is they underpin them. That's what the regional chairs do. So if you think about Croydon, Southwark, Lambeth, Lewisham, Brent, Enfield, if we have regional chapters there, the regional director coordinates all of those organizations in the borough so that they serve our people in the most efficient way. Let's be the Elon Musk of advocacy as an umbrella organization. So you've got a very robust structure. I've been taking people out to dinner from LinkedIn for the past 5 years. And you have very informed professionals that have done this with real world lived experience in the corporate sector, in local authority, who are now going to come and just do that for us. So collectively, looking at that umbrella, now we go and get the money. So you'll see the members. The members are the public who are civically minded, who want to attend monthly meetings to be involved in their local community, where we'd signpost everything to Kingdom Come. So if there are local school governorships, we want to guide our people in there. So then they represent us, and then ADPAC as the umbrella represents them. So this is a machine to be duplicated in Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds. Yesterday, believe it or not, I was on the phone to a sister in Ireland. who was telling me about Dublin. I don't have my notepad in front of me. So we're big in Dublin, we're big in Cork, and there is one more city. She was telling me about the 32 counties that they've got there. So whenever we identify somebody who's already running civic organizations on the ground, we will align with them and then open a chapter there.
So what you're saying to me is that there's a big black population in Ireland.
Yeah. One of my key spars from North Peckham Estate moved back to where am I going? He moved to Ireland with his family, not because his missus is Irish. Everybody is African Caribbean. He just decided to move his family to Ireland, and apparently it's very peaceful.